Hey guys, welcome back to the Films 128 channel. For this episode, some things went awry. Let me show you what we're shooting on. It is a Franka Solida, if I'm pronouncing that right, medium format camera. I've never shot on a medium format camera until what I'm going to show you here in the vlog segment. So, little tour around the camera. I guess we'll go to B-roll. I'll get close-ups of this, but there we go. The film there. And this camera, you have to actually cock the shutter, and then it fires like that. It goes from f4.5 to f22. Shutter speeds from bulb to 25th of a second, 50th, 100th, and 200th of a second. From roughly mid-1950s, this camera, and focus on the camera from 1.2 meters, not feet, to 1.5, to 2, to 3, to 6, to 12 meters, to infinity and beyond. So the camera seemed okay, seemed like it was in working order. I didn't like the way the shutter was behaving sometimes. Sometimes it wouldn't fire. Sometimes it was a little dicey. But it seemed like I could probably get by. Let's give it a shot. So I loaded up the film for the first time in my life. This type of medium format film with the little window in the back and seeing the dots and stopping on the right thing. I think I show some of it in the vlog part. And I shot the roll. So let me show you that part, and then when we get back, I'll explain what I ended up with.
This is going to be the first test film. Okay. Seems to have caught pretty well. Now, as I understand it, I should be going to the line here, and that should go to dead, center, and stop. Close it. Okay, so, and I can see the line right in there through the window. Let me show you. Oops, sorry. That's the arrow that we just saw. So let me close that window for now. And I'm going to put a piece of tape, like I said. I just don't trust myself to not have this door swing open mid-shoot. So I'm just going to put a piece of... Whoa! Bump the camera. So I'm just going to put a piece of tape across here, like right about there, around. It should prevent me from opening it accidentally, or because, like I said, the release button is right there to open the whole camera, and so is the lever to open the whole door. So, okay, first roll of film in the camera. That was actually pretty easy. It's also a perfectly clear day, totally still. I took a couple of quick DSLR, just kind of looking at what it would be averaging at a 400 ISO, 200 shutter speed. So it looks like we're going to just shoot the Sunny 16, hope for the best. This actually might not be bad right here, these rocking chairs. Look how compact it is too, because it's just kind of right in the pocket. This is why I like straps though, because right now is when I'll drop this in the river. This mural might look really cool in black and white. Let's see what we got. Ooh, they got one of those little clock things in the town square. I think I want to frame my shot to get this whole area in, which means I'm going to stand in the street for a split second, but that's okay. Set. We're going to go to infinite. Cock the shutters, because I'm going to stand in the middle of the street to get this shot. It's funny when you're like the center of attention when you're taking photographs and people have never seen a camera before in their lives. It's amazing. Look at this staircase here. This might be something interesting. Or
So I think one of the problems I had was that the shutter seemed to get kind of stiff and wasn't releasing all the time. So I think what I was doing, and I'll show it like this, I think I was pressing it hard like that, and actually moving the camera physically down because I was trying so hard to make sure the shutter fired. Because exposure was goofed on these, and I have some blurs. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. There's definitely some form of motion blur in there. The image is just not sharp at all. And you can kind of see that echoing effect right there. Next shot. Oof. What happened? What happened? And if we get close on it, see the double lines? So to me that says that I moved the camera in the shot. Now, I'm not even going to worry about exposure at this point because that's also not very good. Same thing again. So that one, it looks like I held it a little bit steadier, but it still has a blur to it, but it's a little better. That one came out okay. It's actually halfway decent there. That one's okay. Blurry. Very blurry. Again, same thing. Same thing. Now, I was guesstimating feet and then using Google to translate that into meters for me. So I think the blur is based on how I was holding the camera. That one's a little bit clearer, actually, pretty darn clear. Not great, but it's pretty in focus there. Okay, blurry, and that was the end of the roll. I don't understand why I lost a little bit there, because I should have been on 12. Anyway, so not a great first result for shooting medium format. Kind of was discouraged. I was like, is the camera just no good? I mean, granted, it's half a century old, so okay, can't really blame the darn thing. But I literally said, unacceptable. I loaded another roll of film in. The second time, the first time was the HP5 at 400 ISO. The second time was another 400 ISO, but I had Arista EDU Ultra. I just wanted it to be 400, and this is what I grabbed. So I threw it in there, and I went to the same place, and I said, I'm going to take the exact same photos. Maybe not every one of them exact same, but I'm going to take the same photos and see. And I'll show you what I did. I held it like it was a hot cup of coffee filled to the very top of the... And I was like just delicate. As careful as I could. And I shot the entire thing on f/22 because all of those seemed pretty bright. So I shot it at f/22, shutter speed stayed at 200, and I was careful to kind of really work out my distance as close as I could get. I didn't shoot video of that because I was just irritated at what happened. So I said, all right, let's just go shoot it. So I shot it. Let me open the second round. See what I mean? I shot the same stuff. Now, it's a little clearer. It's pretty in focus. Held it nice and still. But it's blurring in a lot of places. And why is it so washed out at the top? At f/22, 200th of a second, 400 speed film, it shouldn't be that bright. Which is leading me to believe that this shutter is not firing at what it says it is. Or should be, at least. And, I mean, I can look at it. I looked at it very closely. Kind of did one of these things where... Let me show you what I'm talking about here. I opened it. And I might be able to show the camera this. And I looked inside. And I fired the shutter at 200th of a second. And I could see the little flash of light inside as the shutter opened. You could see light through it. I put it down to the lowest, which is a 25th of a second. Cocked the shutter, hit the button, it looked exactly the same. A 200th of a second should not look identical to a 25th of a second when it flashes the light in there. It just shouldn't. So I think the shutter's screwed, to be, perfectly honest. Kind of sad, but oh well. But let me show you what I got on the second round here. Continue it. You can see it's a little bit clearer. I really tried to hold that straight, but apparently I didn't. It's in focus this time. But look at the smoothness of that water. That to me looks like a slow shutter speed. So I think it's a little soft. Even though it's in focus, I think it's a little soft. And I think this water looks like ice because it's shooting at a lower shutter speed than 200th. There's no way that's 200th. Because it's blended that water, So, and that's probably why it's a little bit of a soft focus. And why it's a little bit blown out, a little overexposed, is because it really is, it's not giving me 200th. It's going probably the 25th of a second. And the shutter just may not have the spring and everything inside it, just may not have the strength to do 200th of a second anymore. It just kind of is what it is. Again, the focus is okay now on this one, but so blown out. I like that one, actually. That's kind of a cool shot. I just, wow. I mean, so bright. So bright. Tried this shot again, same thing. You know, the focus is there, but it's just totally blown out. Because I think it's definitely doing a slow shutter speed. I tried a different shot this time. This was something else. Wall in the area looked really old with the windows right at the sidewalk level. Thought this might be a nice shot. I went up the train tracks that time, and you can see there's a top of a church out there. If it had been exposed correctly and the focus was nice, this might have been a nice shot, but obviously, nah. Just trying certain things with it. Okay, so I do have some video of what I did here for this one. I wanted to test focus as perfect as I could, so I put the camera on a tripod, put in the shutter release cable, got a tape measure, measured exactly, and shot this stuff. Let me show you.
Cable release. Okay. There's definitely no camera shake on that one.
Okay, so that focus should be crisp. So I think it's in focus. I think the problem is it's just hazy because it's blown out because of the shutter speed. I also think the lens itself may have something going on, because if you look, it's just got this weird blur around it. So I think there also may be some fog on the lens itself. It looks just smeary, and I have wiped it with every lens cloth and thing I can, and it just looks greasy. I don't know how to describe it. Like there's a haze over it. So I think a combination of that, the shutter, and then also just got close to the bushes over there. This I don't think I had video of. I just put the camera down again, measured where I was to the bushes, because this was really dark. The sun was kind of going down, and it still blew out this area up here. Just look at the weird blur going on. It's something's... So you can see it's in focus, but look at that weird blur, and and that was the end of the roll. So, I mean, I'm curious, why not? Let's bring in a photo or two and just see what could I do, if anything. Tone adjust, levels, bring the brightness, the top brightness level down a little bit. That. So if I really wanted to, I could probably just mess with the photos a little bit. Like, that actually looks like a really, really old photograph. God, but you see what I'm saying about the way the water looks. Like, it definitely looks like a slower shutter speed than 200th of a second, because it just has that smoothed effect. But generally, looking at this image, it kind of looks like a really, really old photograph, And the camera's old, so can I be upset that it didn't work out? Of course I can't. It is what it is. It's not a terrible image. I wish it was a little darker, obviously, but I don't hate what I'm looking at. So, nothing great on this. What's very funny, though, is that I bid on this on eBay, and I didn't think I was going to win it. And so I bid on another one, and how do you pronounce it? Adox? I'd never heard of it. Like Franka Solida, I've heard of the Franka Solida 3, not the 1. I ended up with a 1. And while thought I was going to end up losing this, I bid on this Adox Golf 63 that was made from 1954 to 1959 in Germany. So it was this. I guess they liked these cameras. It looks identical to this, just slight variations. So I may have to retire this one and make it a decoration, because I don't know how to fix it. And so this will just look pretty on a shelf. And I'll try out the other one. So, not this episode, obviously. So, luckily, I've got another medium format camera, kind of the exact same thing, showing up soon. So I look forward to trying it. I'm really excited. I like this film. I love this idea. I love the fold-out cameras. I love the fact that it still has the case and the button still snaps. It's amazing. You know, I'm discouraged with this particular camera because obviously it's got issues. So, you know what? It happens. But well, that's kind of neat. That's kind of neat. Made in Germany, US zone. I'm happy I bought it. I didn't get it. It wasn't very expensive. But I'm excited that there's another one, kind of another version of this type of camera in the mail on its way. Because I really want to try shooting one of these old medium format cameras and getting some great results. These were not great results. These were pretty poor results. But it was practice. I used this. I shot this film for the first time and then the second time. And, I'm excited to try it again. So that will not be the last time I shoot 120 film. No way. I can't wait for this other camera to show up. And that'll be an episode where I kind of retake on the 120 film challenge. Because this one, I lost. But anyway, that's it for the episode. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, Etsy store, all the good stuff. Please and thank you. And see you next time. It seemed off, but I took a shot. I said, you know what? Literally, I took a shot.